Welcome back to the program. Okay, next project, and we're just knocking these things out one by one, aren't we? We're going to replace the sort of instrument cluster bulb that goes behind the headlight switch and the fog light switch. It sits behind here, and a lot of them go bad. A lot of them get burnt out, and they don't get replaced, and a lot of folks don't even realize there's a light behind these. But the reason for that, the reason they burn out so much is they're on all the time. And if they weren't on all the time, you wouldn't be able to find your headlight switch to turn your headlights on. So that's why it always stays on. But, you know, they burn out and then they don't get replaced. So it should be a fairly easy fix. We just need a screwdriver, maybe some needle nose pliers. Take the bad bulb out, put the good bulb in. Might have a little finagling to put this back in. Just right, but sort of just play it by ear and see how it goes. So let's get started. Okay, first things first. Phillips head screwdriver. There's a Phillips screw right underneath this instrument cluster part right here, what houses the your air vents and your headlight switches and fog light switch. So we need to take this screw out. This whole piece will come out, undo the connections, and then we can replace the bulb. Okay, screws out. Now this whole piece should more or less come out. And I might need a pry tool. Find a pry tool. Okay. Come on, you rat bastard. It is caught up here on the right side. There's a little lever underneath here that catches the lock it in, but there's a catch up here somewhere, and we're caught. See, this is the shit that they don't tell you about. They say, oh, undo the screw and pull it out. Yeah, well, you know, it's not quite that easy, is it? Huh? You know, smart asses. There we go. Man, that was a bitch. Alright, that was a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. Basically here we've got a couple connections. We've got this connection we're going to have to pull out. Then there's a round one, this one back here. We're going to have to unhook him too. So let me unhook those, and then maybe we can pull this thing out. One connection. This piece right here, after you unlock it, should come off. There we go. So now we got it out, and let's replace the bulb. And we're just gonna sort of pull it out here. There we go. Okay, the bulbs we're going to use are, I'm using just some 2721 Sylvanias. Hopefully that'll do the trick. Okay, so let's replace this bulb. It should just come out. Yep, that's easy. That's the bad one. grab a good one. Looks like it only goes in one way. And in theory, you're not supposed to touch these with your fingers, but that's okay. There. It's in. We'll just put it back in its little holster. Probably only goes in one way. Locks back in. We're good to go. Let's put this thing back in the car. Okay, we want to put our connectors back together here, so looks like it only goes on one way. So 4 across. Gonna be like and let's connect this guy back up. Okay, I think I got it. The electrical connections hooked back up. Before we actually put it back in the car, let's actually see if we fix the problem. Bingo! See the lights coming on. Okay, here's how we want to put this thing back in. There's this little clip that you can see right here. Okay, that's in the top right. And that needs to go underneath the lip that's right there in the top right. So we need to get the top right corner first. We'll shove that in, get that clip underneath so it locks in, and then we'll worry about the bottom. As you can see here, there's a bottom clip right in there that goes in as well. It might go in easy, it might not. Bottom one in first. And I'm told sometimes the vents get caught up on this. Yep. I need a longer screwdriver. It's always something. Oh, bitch. Never quite as easy as it seems. All right. It took about 20 minutes of motherfuckering it in order to get this back in. You need a long pry tool. I got a bunch of metal sort of pokes and pry tools and stuff, and you got to stick it in here. You get your top right corner first. You make sure your prong goes underneath here. You don't want to break it off. And then you got to go into the bottom left, right where the air vents. The air vent on the back of the air vent module here that you pull out, this whole unit, it slides into the air vent that's permanent, underneath the dash here. So it sort of slides into a pocket in there. But when you put this in, it's hitting the pocket in a corner and it won't slide up and into it, you know, and sit into it. So you got to take a pry tool and really push down into a corner of the air vent that's sitting back here, and push that corner down so when you push this in, it slips up into it and it fits in secure. So that was an adventure. Should not have really been that difficult, but like anything we do, it always is. So let's see. Screw this back in. Now I'll be real pissed if we hook all this back up and get it back in properly, and I turn on the lights again and it doesn't come on. Okay. All right, moment of truth, folks. Bingo. There we go. And if we turn our lights on, everything lights up exactly as it should. So if you haven't replaced your headlight switch instrument cluster bulb, that's the way to do it. If you like this video, like it. If you didn't like it, don't like it. Share it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that bullshit. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe today so you never miss an episode. Take care.